Greetings, methodology students. Welcome to week 8. This is the last week of our journey together through the high grass and winding road of methodologies. This week, there is no discussion prompt. There are no readings other than I would suggest that you read the conclusion in the Preziosi textbook. Just work on your paper and let me know if you have any questions or concerns about it. My goal is all along has been towards this paper as the artifact, the icon, you could say, of your thought development in the context of art history as a methodological practice. With a history and a tradition and a theory, with presumptions that help and shape, whether we are aware of it or not, how we look at, interpret, and experience works of art. One of the important aspects of the class is to differentiate art history as a professional academic discipline from other forms of writing about, talking about, looking at works of art that operate in various other registers. All legitimate and very important in their own way, but not professional academic art history. And so to understand that not as a way to not to impose the values of academic art history onto other ways of experiencing works of art, but to think about how it informs the assumptions and the work that we do as students of art history, recognizing that this graduate program serves a lot of different purposes. It does serve purposes related to the discipline of art history. There are those of your colleagues who are interested in pursuing a PhD and pursuing more professional art historical work in which thinking art historically within the context of an academic discipline is important and significant. Others are approaching the program as a way to receive additional training in the visual arts that will go towards promotion, tenure, and pay grade in the primary or secondary classroom. Those that are looking for more education. Simply a program that allows the student to be able to spend more time in the visual arts in various ways, with no result being a deeper investment in academic art history. However, it is important to understand, even from a distance, what these creatures, these art historians, are doing, so that when you're reading texts, you understand how they relate to each other. For those of you that have or will be taking my writing art criticism class coming up in the next session, we'll be looking at the distinctions. What is art criticism in relationship to art history? What is art criticism in relationship to philosophy or theology or other forms of writing about, talking about works of art? And as a way to frame it in the broadest possible way, what does it mean to speak responsibly about art? Which is an adaptation of what theology is, which is speaking responsibly about God. So does art criticism have a theology? And how do we understand that theology? And where will we go for that? And how do we understand art criticism in relationship to these other professionalized forms of thinking about works of art? Now, one of the things that is so interesting, that can be daunting and intimidating, is the fact that the work of art encourages, and cultivates all of these different approaches, and the great work of art is not exhausted by it. that there is a continuing unfolding of interpretation, of interaction with the work, because the work of art is being encountered by different minds and different imaginations located in different parts of the world, in different ages, as it unfolds over time, how we in the present engage the work of the 5th century BC Athenian Greeks, or the 9th century Byzantine icon painters, or the 15th century Florentine Renaissance painter, or the early modern painter in the middle of the 19th century in Paris or in Munich at the turn of the 20th century, or in New York today. So I hope this 8-week sprint was invigorating for you, that it offers a foretaste of or just the tip of the iceberg of methodological texts. I mean, I have a whole library full of books devoted to the discipline of art history that time and practicality prohibit me from being able to share with you. But I hope this is a class in which you've been able to develop a library, develop resources, be able to produce a paper, an artifact that is the summation of your thinking about this topic, that you can take with you onto your next classes and your program as you continue to build on it. That each class, not just the methodologies class, but each class you take is a building block upon which you step on and be able to utilize and to be able to learn from and employ and deploy what you have learned in other classes. If I don't have you as a student in this next session, I do hope I have you in the near future. I think I'm going to be co-teaching with Angela George the thesis hours next spring semester, and I think I'll also be teaching the abstraction class as well. But even if you're not going to be a student in my class over the next year or so, I'm available. You have my email, which means I have office hours 24/7. Write me, ask me any questions you want about the program, about art history, about art. I'm here to help you. Again, I admire your dedication, your capacity to manage your family, your work life, and then to be able to read and to wrestle with these very difficult texts late at night or on the weekends. I respect what you're doing immensely and want to help you in any possible way. If the paper is getting slow and you've got a tough week at work or a tough week with family obligations, etc., please let me know, and we can work around it. The deadline is for your own good, because Lord knows I've had deadlines that I keep getting extensions for, and all it does is continue to add that heavy weight on your shoulders. And so a deadline is just it's for your good, not mine. So talk with me if you need an extension, and we'll work on that. Again, thank you so much for the privilege of spending time with you, even though it's electronic time and at a distance. I feel like I've gotten to know each and every one of you in a better way through your thinking about this subject. So again, I thank you for the time and the effort, and I hope that I can help you more along the way. Take care.